Hi everyone, GG Pinball here. Again, if you were here with me earlier, you saw the technical difficulties we have. Hence is the world of virtual pinball. Okay, so Gary had commented on my last video asking about where to download tables as a newbie to our world. So we're going to go over that and some of the things that you need to know about installing, and we're going to see what we can come up with here. Hopefully it's better than my last video. I tried to do it, and that's what I get for not testing things beforehand. It was a flabbergaster. Yeah, it was awful. Anyway, okay. So first thing is downloading your files and where to go. So there are two major sites that I tell everyone to start with. That is VP Forums, as you see here, and you can also go to VP Universe. Both of these sites are absolutely fantastic, and you're pretty much going to find anything you really need at these sites. You can also go to the author of certain tables when you get more into it. You're going to learn different people like, say, JP Salas. They'll have their own sites. You can go there too. But these two are going to be your basic starters that you're going to go to. Like I said, VP Universe and VP Forums. Make accounts there. They're free accounts that you can make. And it's a great place to not only download stuff from, but the forums, they do have a lot of people that are willing to help. So it's definitely something you should check out if you're going to get into this. Okay. So before that, we're going to talk about the installs of VPX itself. If you haven't already done it, you can join Nailbuster's group on Facebook and download what's called the Baller Installer, which is going to download, it's going to install VPX, pin up Popper for some of the advanced tables and whatnot. But if you're just a beginner, a complete noob, there's also the, in VP Forums, you can find the VPX installer, the 10.6 installer. If you do end up on Nailbuster's page here, he does have a link that is separate for just the install of VPX. And it's actually not a bad one to do. This VPN, it's all one installer. So it's going to install a few things for you. VPX, which is your main emulator that's going to be running these tables. PinMain, which is it's emulating the actual hardware for you. The B2S server is for your back glasses. Ultra DMD is a different version of DMD. So on this video in particular, I'm not going to concentrate all that much on the B2S server because I am doing it on a single screen. If you have a cabinet or dual screen, you are going to want to concentrate that. We will talk about the files on there. So we want to download a table. So we're going to start with something easy. We're going to do Attack from Mars. It's a classic table that pretty much everyone knows. And if you don't, you need to know it. It is a great table. We're going to do JP's version. So JP Salas had put out Attack to Mars. And you can go to VP Forums or VP Universe, and you go into their search area and type in, you know, Attack from Mars. And what's cool about both of these sites, you can click here on the right, and it'll let you look like for downloads. And on VP Universe, it'll say Files. It helps you get the post out and whatnot, and it'll help you find it. Now, you're going to see a ton of files here, right? And that's okay. VP Forums has been around for quite some time, so there's multiple versions. There's older versions that are still on here. So you can see here, so you got Attack from Mars, but if you look under, it says Visual Pinball 8. It's older versions. You have VP8, you have VP9, and we're currently on Visual Pinball X10. The current release status is 10.6. I'm going to get into the beta in 10.7 a little later in this video. Now, we're going to look for the one, like I said, we're going to actually look for JP's version, and it is going to be in the 10 point, or the VPX versions. So we'll go next. I've already downloaded, but I do want you guys to see it, because we're going to, like I said, there's a few things I do want you to be aware as being someone new in this. It's a lot to take in, and it's easy to mess up, and I don't want you to get discouraged on this. Okay, so we're getting closer. VPX, I think one more will go. Here we go. Okay, yeah, JP South. So we're going to look at Attack from Mars. Now, another thing that VP Forums does is they will keep some previous versions on here. And let's just talk about the tables what files you need exactly. So there's three main files you need after VPX has been installed, right? That is your actual VPX table file, the B2S file, like I said, if you're using dual screens or in a cabinet, and the Rom file. So let's just kind of go over each one of those files, right? So your VPX file is the actual table file. That is what's going to create the table that VPX is going to read. That's going to be your 3D rendering file. It's basically like a CAD file, right? And it's got scripting in it. That's your main file on how to play the tables. Your B2S file is going to be the file that creates the backglass, which is where you would see your score on a pinball cabinet. Now, in this video, I'm going to be concentrating on desktop mode. So that file really isn't going to apply to me as much, but I am going to talk about it because if you are doing, like I said, dual screen or cabinet, it is a very important file to have. And like I said, we'll go over that a little bit, right? So the third file is the Rom file. Now, not every table needs a Rom. Your electronic magnetic tables, these are your older tables, pretty much most of the tables pre-1978. They didn't have microchips in them, hence they do not need the Rom files. The Rom is supposed to be imitating the microchips that help tell the rule set and whatnot in these tables. For all purposes, though, that we're going to do in this video, you are going to be required the Rom file. All right, so, and again, you can download from here. VP Forums is great to download. You got your tables, and they got, you can go up here to front-end media, and you see backglass. Here's your DB2S. That is your B2S file, so that'll be, like I said, that backdrop screen. And then if you're looking for the ROM, some of the tables will have the link right here. You can see ROM, link to ROM, and it'll bring it to you. You could also search it up there. If you're looking for ROMs on VP Universe, when you're actually at a table, a lot of times they will, like we did police force, and we're going to go over that too. You'll see here in the file information down here, the ROM name, and you can just copy and paste that in the search, and your file should pop up. Like I said, we've downloaded these files already, but I did want to show you guys like where and how to find it. So we got the files downloaded. Now we need to move them into the proper places. If anyone was watching a little bit earlier, I tried this, and it was the first time I was actually doing it on this laptop, and it was a cluster, but it should be a lot easier now. So I've downloaded these in a pinball download file here, right? And this folder over here is our Visual Pinball folder. So this is where Visual Pinball installed, right? So the first thing we are going to look at is, as I said, the VPX file. So we got Attack from Mars. Now, I got two Attack from Mars down here, and I'll go over this real quick. So, Visual Pinball, the current release version is 10.6 at the making of this video, but the beta 10.7 version is out there. And actually, I want to say for at least the last 6 months, you've seen more and more and more tables that are releasing that you can use in 10.7. If a table was created and saved in 10.7, there's a very good chance it is not going to work in 10.6. The reason that I have Attack from Mars, this 2.0.1 and this 3.0.2, these versions here, is because the 2.0 version is made for 10.6, but this 3.0 version has JP's more advanced physics and needs 10.7. So there is a difference in the tables and whatnot. Anyway, going back to where we were. So, as a complete noob, it's something you probably should just know that there are some tables that work at 10.6 and 10.7. A lot of people actually might tell you just use 10.7, which could be fine. There's very little tables that have issues in 10.7 actually, so it could be a good move. But if you're going to download it, right now the actual stable release version is 10.6. All right, going back. So like I said, first we got our VPX file here. So we're going to take that and we're going to move it into this tables here, right? Then your B2S file, right? And like I said, this is the background. Not really important for my setup that I have showing right now, but anyone with dual screens or cabs is going to need this. I did download, here you go. So you can see direct B2S. You are also going to put this in your table folder. And when we go into the tables here, the big thing is you want it to match the name of the table, like identical. So the best thing you can do is I'll copy the table name and then change the V2S name so they're matching. This way, when it launches, it knows to pull that file, right? And then you have your Rom file back in our downloads. Here is the ROM that's going to be running this. Now, do not unzip these ROM files. Keep them zipped. You're going to keep them zipped and you're going to move them. So in our pinball folder where VPX had installed, you're going to see this folder here, vpinmain. Double click on that and you're going to look for the ROM folder within there. Hi, there it is. You'll move it into here. I already moved it, but you're going to keep it there, zipped, don't open it. It's good. It's good to go. All right, so now we're going to test out our table. Before we do that, we are going to actually open up Virtual Pinball. And I'm going to cancel this part out. And there's a reason I wanted to discuss this real quick, because if you're new to this, you want to make sure that everything is set correctly for your system. So we're going to go into Preferences, and you're going to want to check your video graphics and options. Make sure you're all set here. And then looking good there. So this will automatically rotate you like you're going into full screen and into a cabinet mode. Like I said, I'm in desktop for this video, so that's why I'm not checked in there. And again, I'm not going to need B2Ss for this because, again, I am doing this in desktop. So I'm actually going to go back into my tables and just delete that for now. Okay, all right. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to Open. And we're going to go our Attack from Mars 2.0 because we are in the standard release version. So it's going to pop up like this. You see, it looks like a big CAD drawing here, and that is okay. That is fine, right? Before you start getting into these, I do want to talk about script options. Again, I know this is supposed to be aimed towards noobs, but it is something that will come up. So you see there's a script option here, and this looks like big, scary coding. Oh, no! It's not that bad. Authors will actually give people a lot of choices, and really it comes down to changing some of these numbers from a 1 to 2. And if it's in green and there's this apostrophe here, that means that the line isn't code, it's more for notes. So if you don't see anything crazy, it's fine. Like JP doesn't have any options in this one, but it is something to know as you start going through the tables. Okay, so let's try it out and let's see what happens. So we're gonna hit play. All right. First time you load a table on your system, it's going to ask you if you have the rights in vpinmain. And yeah, because you own the system, so yeah, sure, you're good. Alrighty, so we have our table opened up. Another word of warning, sometimes the first time you open up a table, your DMD here in the corner might say something about factory settings. Just close out of the table and go back in, and you shouldn't have that anymore. It's like an initialize for the ROM. So our table is open. We're going to test it out. 5 is your coins if you're using a keyboard, or you're going to program your coin buttons. 1 to start it. All right, that's there. And the buy-in, as you can see. All right. Back to Mars is good. Whoop. So weird playing on a desktop when I'm used to the cabinet. It's funny though. Okay, we can get out of here real quick. And actually, no. I'm not going to get out of here yet. Let's discuss something real quick. This is Rom Settings and Table Settings. So vpinmain models the actual hardware. So there's a setting menu like you would do in a real pinball machine. Like when you open the front door, They're special buttons that the operator would use to adjust certain aspects of the table. Some of the older tables, if you open up the coin door, it actually disables the rest of it so you don't get electrocuted. I don't know how true that is, but about the electrocution part, but that's basically what happens. So VPX is no difference with that. If you want to get to and adjust with those buttons, you have to emulate opening the coin door, which would be on a keyboard, which would be your end button. So I'm going to hit end. And you can see here it's flashing now saying the coin door is disabled. Now, the 7, 8, 9, and 0 keys are going to be your operator buttons. One thing you'll notice with some of these tables is they start out very low volume wise. Like, you can hear the table stuff going on, but you couldn't hear a lot of the call outs and whatnot, especially Attack from Mars. You need them. So if you hit 8, that's going to do your volume down, and 9 will be volume up. A word of advice, I wouldn't go further than this because you're going to start to get distortion and crackling sound. So don't max it out. Give it some room, and then you can adjust your speakers from there. You max it out, you're going to be sorry. Okay. That's going to be the big one I tell you for that. The other one that a lot of people are going to try to figure out and ask is going to be how to get free play on, so you don't have to put in coins every single time. Tables are different. Every table is going to be different. It's going to be different for tables that were made by different companies and whatnot. And I mean, some of the older ones before the DFDs were big, you know, just like the older 80s displays, they were actually actual dip switches. There's ways of doing it, but it gets complicated. If you need to go into these menus and change them, though, while the coin door is open, you're going to hit 0. And that'll bring you, as you can see, into the settings menu. And then 7 will bring you back. So go back into there, hit 0 again. Now you got 8 and 9 will go back and forth. And remember, 7 will go back, 0 will enter into it. So on this, maybe you want adjustments. 0 will enter in. You do standard adjustments and feature adjustments. If you're looking to make it free play, it's usually going to be in standard adjustments because every table has that. And you go see you got balls per game, tilt warnings, different stuff like that. Some, like I said, some you might have to actually, it'll say extended audits or extended features. And you might have to extend it because it'll be hidden. I don't think Attack from Mars, though, is going to be that hard. I think we're actually going to have it in here, kind of. It's going to be like in the 40s, probably. Oh, so... I missed it. Oh, it might be in feature adjustments. Okay. See, like I said, everyone is going to be different. Alright, I'm not going to spend too much time on here. Big thing is the volume. Remember, open the door with end, adjust the volume with 8 and 9. Don't go too far, or it's going to sound like crap. And remember to re-close that door by hitting end yet again. Now it's there, and you're good to go here. Now, we're going to exit out of here real quick, and we are going to talk about beta and 10.7, because like I said, there are a lot of files out there, and it could get quite confusing quite easily. So, like I said, I had downloaded also Attack from Mars, the 10.7 version. That is this one here. I want to open for you, and I want you to see what happens, so you don't freak out if this happens. Now, right away, it's going to give you this error message saying that it was saved with 10.7, and you might have issues. And when it says that, you're going to have issues, I promise. I promise you will have issues. But we're going to load it. I want you to see. So what's going to happen is we got it loaded. We're going to hit play. And we are going to get a big gray blobby mess. It is not going to be pretty. There you go. And this is what happens when you load a 10.7 table in 10.6, just so you see. It's just, yeah. So let's get out of there. Now, if you do go the route of downloading 10.7, you do not need to make a separate folder for it. You can put it all in your already folder. So what's going to happen is you will get the 10.7 download, and I think actually I already deleted the download. I apologize for that. What you'll do is you'll download the 10.7, and you will, oh, here we go. I actually still have it in there, so I'm going to just bring it back over so you can see what needs to be done. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Well, restore. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, so we have our pinball where 10.6 was installed. Now we want to get beta so we can get some of the newer tables. Almost every VPW table, which VPW makes some of the most beautiful tables out there, is 10.7. We actually have a table on here that we're going to go over. The Police Force, the SG1 Bison mod came out today, I think? Yesterday. And it's beautiful. Police Force was one that actually has been very hard to find. So, anyway. So you have your table folder or your actual visual pinball folder where everything was installed. And what you're going to do is in this zip file for beta, you're literally going to copy everything except for the exe at first. And you're going to drag it over here. And it'll ask you to replace. Just say yes. You're fine. And then when you bring this one over here, you don't want to replace the file that was in there. Just save them both, and it will change the exe with a number. It'll have the -1. And what I do is I change the name over to 1.07, so I know it's 10.7 is the beta version. Now we have the beta version. We can open it up, and let's open that Attack from Mars there. And we should be able to actually see it this time. If you're wondering how to get rid of that vpin main thing, we're going to actually go over that too real quick. All right. So the 10.7 version is on here. Again, 10.7 is in beta technically, but you're seeing more and more tables. And what's the difference? Better physics, better things that they can, I believe, graphically. It makes it better for the creators, easier for your content creators. So, and everything should function the same. And actually, if you change settings to 10.6, you should actually go right over to 10.7.
Your cities will be destroyed.
Got it working. Let's go over one more real quick. Like I said, we are going to go over Police Force. Now, Police Force, you're going to find over on our other site here, VP Universe. What a great site you are, VP Universe. I'll have to check that out. Okay. So, Police Force is actually one of those interesting tables. It does come with both the table file and the backlash. That doesn't usually happen all that much for recreated tables like this, but this one does. And again, Rom file down here. So we get our 3 main files. And we'll go to our pinball thing here. All right. So our 3 main files, right? So we got Police Force, that's the backglass. And then the table file. See, they're both there. So you just take those and drag them over to tables. I don't have the backglass one because, again, mine is not set up right now for that. But if you have 2 screens or a cabinet, you will need that. Alrighty. And then you want to make sure you do your ROM again, right? So we got our Police Force ROM there. We're going to go into the vpin main folder, ROMs, drag it in there. There it is. Now you should be good to go. Remember, this one is a 10.7 table, and always look at those details because right here it actually tells you the VP version 10.7 required. So again, this table won't work in 10.6, but will work in 10.7. So we're going to open up our 10.7. The layout does look a little bit different, but that is okay. And we are going to go to Police Force. And let us load it up. Alrighty. We are up going. And it's a beautiful table. So, quick few little things. Just that we can go over. So we saw that vpin main thing that keeps on popping up at the beginning. That is a setting that can be changed. To access ROM settings when you have a table open, you want to hit F1. And you are going to be presented with this screen here. If you want to get rid of that every time you open it up, you can put it into cabinet mode. It's not going to flip the screen on you, but that message is going to stop. Enter, and it'll tell you that it won't take effect till you reload it, which is fine. And here, we'll quit the editor, and yeah, let's open it back up. And as you see, we should not have that. Yep, didn't pop up. So we're good to go. So yeah, that is basically that went way smoother than my first one. Again, I apologize if you were watching earlier and you saw that train wreck that has been deleted forever and ever. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up either in the comments section or my email, ggpinball@gmail.com. I'm GG Pinball, and this has been your beginner's guide to setting up tables in VPX. Quick note before I go, there are some great people out there to teach you this stuff way better than I can. You can look up Major Frenchie. You can look up Terry Red. Nailbusters videos when you get a little bit more advanced because you're going to want the whole popper system. Make sure you're checking these guys out because they're pioneers of this whole thing. And again, they are so smart and just know their stuff so much better than I do. But again, if you do have questions, hopefully I can lead you in the right way. I'm GG Pinball, and this has been your quick starter beginner's guide to installing VPX tables. Hope to see you soon.